welcome to the ITBO Leadership Webinar for August 23rd, 2016. We are very excited to do this call. My name is Garth Borthistle, and I will be the host for today's call. And we've entitled this, A Glimpse into Your Future TriVita Wellness Business. And we felt it was important to do this webinar. We meaning there's going to be, well, more speakers in this actually, but a few weeks ago, Borthistle, Bryan Wirth, Mitch, and myself were down in Arizona learning about the future of TriVita and more specifically the ITBO opportunity that is part of that and what's going to come out of the future TriVita developments that are very exciting. So there's a lot of topics we're going to cover. I put this out in the flyer, and I just kind of wanted to say, you know, we're not going to go through this point by point throughout the call, but as Mitch and Bryan and Barry speak, we'll be covering a lot of these topics. We're going to talk about a new, simple, scientific health risk evaluation, and we're calling it the Health Portal for right now. A synergistic business building between the company and the ITBOs. This is very exciting to really have alignment in ITBO activity and company activity. We're going to talk about what we're calling new empowerment marketing focus. We're going to talk about customer acquisition strategies. We're going to talk a little bit about compensation plan focus, mainly what activities for us to be rewarded for our business building. A little bit about new products, a little touch on the new media and wellness show that's starting in September. And then all of this sets up the live stream that was just announced for September 13th from the company. Michael will be leading a very important live stream to introduce the future of TriVita and a lot of the aspects that we're going to be talking about today. He'll actually be able to show it and things will be ready to launch. So with that in mind, we're going to just dig right into it and start having all of us tell our various portion of that. So I'm going to turn this over to Barry, Presidential Director and Co-Founder. He's going to share a little bit about his vision and how timing is everything. So Barry, take it away.
I'll take it away, Garth. Just one thing, on my slide, there's a shadow covering most of the slides. I don't know whether it's just mine or somebody else, but if you can fix it, you can. All right. Well, you're going to hear some outstanding facts today about the future of TriVita. My job is to set the stage, why this is so important. The first slide says timing is everything, and the absence of patience can cause one to miss an opportunity. Patience is not one of my virtues, just if you don't know that, ask Ruth. But we can count on change today, and change can be tough. Vince Lombardi, the famous coach, said it is not how hard you get hit, it is how fast you get up. And some companies get up when change comes, some don't. A couple of examples is Kodiak and Polaroid back in the 90s. They saw the market changing, they didn't get up, they went down. Apple saw the change, they made some changes, and they went up. And TriVita has been going through, as most of you are aware, some changing. The changes have been caused by market condition and basically some new regulatory issues. I do want to make a comment right now on Michael's tenacity. We owe him a lot of credit, and I think it would be well worthwhile for people to email him and thank him. And it is his 50th wedding anniversary. So that's a good time to mention that in an email to him. So the new TriVita, you're going to hear this many, many times on slide 2, says no to disease and yes to wellness. Well, we're not alone on there. Yeah, that's better. We're not alone on that. The Mayo Clinic, if you go to Mayo Clinic, you're going to see the words, the importance of physical, emotional, spiritual health. Isn't that interesting? Adriana Hamilton of the Huffington Post has just resigned from her CEO position, and she says she's starting a new company in health and wellness. Stress and burnout are a global pandemic, costing businesses hundreds of billions of dollars per year, $300 billion in the U.S. alone, and that's what she's going into. So we are really in pretty good company. When we first shared this concept of saying no to disease, yes to wellness. I got very excited with Sherry Hawkins in Maryland, who says she's going to make up a shirt. Says no to disease, say yes to wellness, and ask me how. And you're going to hear some rather dramatic things on how that question can be answered. So I want to share very quickly my kind of approach to where we're going. And I'd ask you to join us in this, and I call it my eagle story. You know, the Bible talks about those that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. The word renew means pass through strength. Isn't that interesting? That's what TriVita's been doing. There's 7 real quick lessons we learned from eagles, and I'm going to apply this to my life. Number 1, eagles flock together. The lesson there is teamwork, meaning ITBOs and company working together. Number 2, eagles have a strong vision, looking ahead with written goals and vision. It's interesting that goal setting is also a biblical concept. Back in the book of Habakkuk, he was kind of discouraged, and he said to the Lord, what am I supposed to do? And here's what God said to him, write the vision and engrave it so plainly upon tablets that everyone who passes may be able to read it easily and quickly, for the vision will be fulfilled. So our new vision is say no to wellness, say yes to wellness, and no to disease. Number 3, eagles do not eat dead things. In other words, work with people who are alive and want to work. Number 4, eagles love a storm. They use the pressure of the storm and fly into the wind. That's what we're doing. We face some adversity, and now we're eagles flying into the wind. Number 5 is eagles test before trusting. The female does all the testing, make sure that the male's on board, and that's pretty good because 80% of the business, or 80% of the people in our business are women. Number 6, eagles train their children to maturity, the importance of training. And number 7, I love this one. This applies to me. Eagles retire until new feathers grow. When the eagle gets older and weak because of the worn-out feathers, which slows down his flight, what he does, he retires for a while, the feathers come back, and then he goes back into it. And that's exactly what I plan on doing. So just to wrap up my little portion here, I want to go to slide 3. And slide 3, I want to just share a couple of things here, and then I'll close. Slide 3 talks about, where are my notes? I'm so excited here. All right, slide, all right. We got to understand that the whole new TriVita is, the future is sponsored by Base Health, leading scientific data. And you can see it on the screen. Info from 70 million people, 30,000 research papers. Nobody has this, folks. Nobody has this, and this is what's coming to TriVita. And so here's the promise I want to make to you. Number 1, we promise as leaders that we're going to communicate. We're going to have webinars. We're going to have newsletters. We're going to have field events. Number 2 is education. We're going to have medical doctors talking about product knowledge, not claims, but product knowledge. We're going to have personal development with Ryan and Jennifer Walters. They just won an award about being speakers of the year. And number 3, recognition, and the recognition will be success stories. So in closing, let me just tell you one story that kind of wraps all this up. And it happened just a couple weeks ago, or I guess maybe last week at the Olympics. It was the 5,000-meter run. And the New Zealand girl tripped. The American fell over her, and they both fell. The New Zealand girl was not going to get up. But the American, bless her heart, said, look, we got to finish the race. So they got up, they finished the race. Needless to say, they came in last, but they were both awarded positions in the final. Now, they said because they tripped. I don't believe that. I think they awarded them because they tripped, but they did not give up, and they followed through. So those are some of the reasons why I am so excited about the new TriVita and what we're heading into. So with that, Garth, I'll turn it back to you.
Thanks, Barry, for your enthusiasm and your excitement about that. So we want to start breaking this down and explain some of the glimpses that we saw when we were down there. And for that, I am going to bring on Bryan Wirth, Presidential Director. Bryan, how are you this evening?
I am doing fabulous, Garth. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. So let's start talking about what we're calling on this call the health portal. There's going to be a marketing name that Michael will launch in September. And basically the health portal is an online health evaluation. It's free to users. It's based upon the science that Barry just talked about. So the base health platform, which is revolutionary in the consumer marketplace. Nobody has this level of science in that. Brian, I don't know if you knew this, but I was told by Michael the other day that they've even done a clinical trial and study on the base health science to see if it's really scientific. And obviously it was, and so a clinical study was done on clinical studies, if that makes sense. So that's kind of the strength of all of that. And then we were able to see a glimpse of it. So Brian, maybe let's sort of to the audience here explain what you saw in the health portal. What does it mean for us as a tool to help acquire more customers? Let's start there.
Sure, absolutely. Well, it was a great meeting with all of you guys down there with Michael. And the thing that really struck me, Garth, was that, you know, first of all, this portal that we have, and you guys have already hit on this, but I want to put an exclamation point on this one key fact, and that is the portal is, it's not, we're offering it at no cost now, okay? This is going to be coming out at no cost to the customer, but it's not some watered down version. It's the exact same version that we all want, you know, were exposed to when they first came out with the TriVita Shield program. Still backed by all the science, has all of the power that we all expect from it. So that's a key thing that I want everybody to understand. But when we saw the portal when we were in that meeting, and the gentleman from the IT department came in and kind of gave us a little demo, here's the thing that I really was impressed with. Number one, it's a simple drop-down menu. Click, menu drops down, and I think it's going to take somebody maybe 10 minutes max to fill this questionnaire out and get the information loaded into the portal. And then from there, we're going to get an instant recommendations on the products that we should be taking given our particular disease risk. If we have issues that's more for cardiovascular, you know, then we're going to have specific products that are recommended to help, you know, mitigate risks for that particular type of the body system. So the main thing is it's very simple, easy to navigate, and it's going to be so intuitive that when we get this into the hands of people, it's not going to be cumbersome for them. It's not going to be, you know, intimidating, and they're trying to figure out how to make it work. It's going to be really, really easy to navigate. So I think that's critically important. The other thing that, you know, in the meeting, Garth, that Michael talked a lot about, and we had a lot of discussion, was about this whole concept of empowerment marketing. Mm-hmm. And really what that means is that, you know, the customer becomes the hero, and it's not the product that's the hero, right?
Yeah, why don't you explain that a little bit, because that's a very important part, Brian.
Well, in today's marketplace, the customer really wants to be in control. The customer wants to be able to direct their own pathway, and they want to make their own choices. They don't want to be necessarily told what to do. They want to be given recommendations, but so with this program, the customer maintains control. They get their evaluation, and then it's up to them to make the decisions based on the information they get back. But we're not leading and trying to force the pathway by going down a specific product. For example, like we did back in the days, although it was very, very successful, but we're not going down the pathway like we did, for example, with Nopalea or B12, where we're just leading with a single product, trying to make that the hero. We're making the customer the hero. We're empowering them so that they can make the right decisions.
So I hope people caught that, because that is very significant. So if people who are trying to compare this and trying to get through their head, how does this compare to TriVita Shield and what was launched in April? As Brian said, it's the same, well, it's a portion of that. Well, one of the complexities of the one that was launched in April was that there was too much information required, and people stopped entering their information and never completed it. This is a same question, same scientific platform, but something, as Bryan said, can be filled out in 10 minutes or less. And you get these scientific proven results that is unprecedented really in the marketplace, that will give food recommendations and supplement registrations and lead people to become the heroes of their wellness journey and connect that with TriVita. Fair enough, Bryan?
Absolutely. And you know, Garth, another point that I want to bring out too, and I think, you know, I think this is really exciting to me, and I know that you know, you and Mitch are going to get into in just a little bit some of the more details on customer acquisition and some of those exciting things that are going to be coming with the new launch in September. But the idea with this we'll call it a free or no cost health risk assessment. I want to paint a picture for everybody that's on the call. There's a company out there right now that's doing extremely well. This is not a network marketing company. It's a financial services company. And this is another demonstration or another, I guess, example of empowerment marketing. But it has to do with personal finances, okay? And this company it's a short spot on television, and they're just talking about people that are in their retirement years, how they can get a free financial advisory report. And it's a very compelling message. It's only about 60 seconds long. And then they're just simply driving them to a website, which is called betterment.com. Maybe some of you that are on the call have actually seen this. I see it running all the time. And that's a pretty good indication that it's doing well. We're going to be doing something very similar in the wellness industry with this no-cost advisory report or health risk assessment, where not only in media and in television, radio, newsprint, but it's something that we in the field can very easily do is just simply drive people to a website and let the evaluation, in a sense, do all of the heavy lifting for us. And so I think it's going to make it much easier, Garth, in the future as we move forward, having this tool for our own personal customer acquisition, and certainly it's going to be effective, I believe, in the media as well.
Okay, so I put this little crude drawing I did on the screen, and what you're talking about, Bryan, is our job as ITBOs is to find ways to draw people into this funnel, the health portal we're calling it right now. You gave the example in the financial world, and that's our role. And the portal takes care of itself. The company is in charge of, once the customer is entered, the offers and the follow-through with how to convert that into a member. So our role really simply becomes using the plethora, and Mitch and I will cover this in more detail, but the social media, company-sponsored media, our own advertising, our own talking with people, push everybody into the funnel, and we start getting predictable results as they go through the health portals, and it produces a certain percentages of members. That's a fair way to say it?
I think that's perfect. I mean, I love that's a very simple and straightforward way to demonstrate what we're going to be doing moving forward. We're going to let the power of the system do the heavy lifting for us. Yeah, it's up to us to get the word out, but if we'll just simply get people to go through that funnel, they get their no-cost report, they'll get their customized nutritional program, and really that's what, you know, if you look at where we all get paid as ITBOs, we get paid when we get members, and members that are purchasing our high-quality supplements on a monthly basis.
Right.
With this personalized, customized program, I believe that we're going to see that we're going to have greater value with, you know, greater spend value, if you will, with each customer, and I think we're going to get higher retention, and we're going to have a much easier way to gain customers. So it's absolutely going to be great.
And then lastly, you and I were talking, and our understanding is it's a free assessment, but people can't just go online and search for it. They actually have to enter a code. So the code would be our ID numbers. The company will have a code when they do media advertising. So everybody's using the same thing, but we're able to track and direct people to our independent businesses by using our own code for that.
That's absolutely right. And And Garth, I think that also, we're positioning this really as something that is no cost. We're trying to stay away, even though they mean the same thing, but we're trying to stay away from the word free. Sometimes people don't value what's free, so it's going to be at no cost. But having that coded system where the member has to actually enter in a code to take that assessment not only creates the linkage for the ITBOs in the field so that they know that they get those customers, but I think it also builds a lot of value into what we're doing.
It really does. So you're excited about it, Bryan?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to be fantastic, and I know you guys are going to get into more detail. And I would just also take this opportunity to plug, the up and coming live stream. I know you'll talk about that more, but when this rolls out, I think we're going to see something that's very, very exciting, and we're going to see people having a lot of fun with it, and they're going to be building successful businesses.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so I think we've covered that part. So I want to move on to something that Bryan said. So Bryan, stick around if you can, and maybe sum this up at the end here as well. So thank you very much for that. And I'm with you. I'm looking forward to this equally as well. I'm very excited about it. Bryan talked about the customer being the hero. And this is a very important, not just marketing, but really what connects and adds value into the consumer base. So before we bring Mitch on to talk more about the customer acquisition side, I've been talking with Joe. Joe, are you on the call?
I am.
Joe lives in North Arizona and has been around TriVita for a while. But I was struck when I was talking to him a couple weeks ago. He got involved with the TriVita Shield and some of the activities with that. And Joe, tell us a little bit about your experience. We're not necessarily saying that the TriVita Shield is translating into this, but what I want everybody to hear is what happened when Joe started something and the motivation for him to keep moving forward with it. So maybe tell us a little bit about you use the nudge and what's happened from a wellness health side to you in the last couple months.
Right, okay. And I think that we could use nudge as another, well, what is it? What do we want to use? No-cost item that we can refer people to, because when we give people things, then that enhances our credibility. And my wife, Shirley, I'm 3/4 of a century old, so I'm talking about some time here. 45, 50 years ago, well, 45 years ago, she was very interested in nursing and became self-taught in nutrition. And so when we got married, she took care of all that. I didn't pay much attention to it, so she took care of me. And the result really is that I didn't bother very much with nutrition. She was in the doctor's office with 3 doctors, 3 pediatricians, and whenever anything came up about nutrition, they immediately went to her for the answers. That's how well versed she became. And so we do not take any medications whatsoever, but we do take supplements. But again, I let her take care of that, and then through the TriVita Shield and that activity, someone, I think there at that meeting, suggested that a couple of us use Nudge, N-U-D-G-E, a free app that you can get for your phone. And what happens there is you track any one of 6 or several different areas, 6 different areas you can track. There's some 22 items, 6 to 22 items in each of those fields: hydration, nutrition, activity, sleep,
Right.
indulgences, and weight.
So sorry to cut you off, but you've been doing that, and what are some of the results, Joe, that you've been getting from that?
Yeah, so within about 2.5 months of doing that, I lost 12 pounds, which
Wow.
brought me back into some good shape and about almost 3 inches off my waist. Now my wife says, how come you're wanting more vegetables? Because I remember, you know, my main food group was sugar, but now it's vegetables and fruit. And so with doing that, it's really helped me become much more healthy. And watching how much water I drink, I thought I was drinking plenty, but it ended up, if you watch Nudge,
Amazing. Yeah.
pretty short.
Okay, so let me ask this one last question then, Joe. So you basically are more empowered now, right? To start thinking about your health and do the certain things. And it's a whole different ballgame than being told what to do, isn't it?
That's very true. It's very true. So it fits in perfectly with what we're doing with TriVita.
Wow. Well, Joe, thank you very much. Congratulations on 12 pounds. You told me you walk 3 miles a day.
Right.
That is just fabulous stuff. So keep it going, and thank you for sharing that, because your empowerment is really a testament and a story about what I believe this new health portal will create, is not just customers, but people who are empowered. And when they're empowered, it's a whole different ballgame.
Right. One other quick thing, if I may, you can, if you're a competitor, if you like to compete, you can compete against friends and a couple of groups that you can join and keep track of your score.
I do that too, so that's a lot of fun. Thanks, Joe. Next time we'll talk longer, but I wanted to get your story because it's very important to what we're creating here. So thanks, Joe.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. Have a good evening. That was great. Joe really helps tell the story about what we're creating and what Bryan talked about in the empowerment marketing. So let's put that now into the final piece of what really we're going to talk about today and bring on Mitch Lover. Mitch, how are you this evening?
I'm doing great. Can you hear me okay, Garth?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Joe's story was really great to hear. You know, I was thinking, you know, my big thing is sugar too, and maybe if I could borrow his wife, I could get on the vegetables and off the sugar, but maybe I'll just get me that Nudge app.
We have to get you empowered there. So. Okay, Mitch, so you were at the meeting, and let's talk about sort of the customer acquisition side. Obviously, you are an expert at understanding customer acquisition and using that. I want to start with something that we may have skipped over in the conversation with Bryan, is the fact that we have this portal, that we all our efforts go into the same thing. This is a game changer, because now we as ITBOs get to use the same offer that the company is using in their media. Do you want to explain that and tell why you're excited about that?
Well, yeah, component? Sure. Let's go back with a little bit of history. I don't know what the complexion is of the call. I really don't know who's on it, but just so you understand a little bit, I did take a lot of the media over the last 16 years with both the B12 and the Nopalea promotion. And I always wanted to be able to advertise myself, do some print media, you know, as mobile media started, maybe some social media. And I wanted to be able to make a similar offer that the people would have seen on TV or heard in the radio or in digital, and we couldn't do that. You know, TriVita on TV, they said, hey, take a free bottle, and when people would call in to get a free bottle, they would get a professional call center that knew how to get enough information to get them to purchase enough that it would do them enough good, they get good results on the product, and who knows whether the affiliates were good enough or not. But the whole thing is I wasn't allowed to use that same advertising, get a free bottle, and if I was able to use that advertising, get a free bottle, of course I would have had to have paid for the free bottle for my new customer, just like TriVita pays for the free bottle for the new customers from the TV or radio digital. And in being able to make the same offer, so if the offer is a free assessment, I mean, guys, just think about this. If I was an insurance agent and I wanted to sell life insurance or annuities, And I could get people to call me off the TV and go in and put in enough information to let me know that they were a good candidate for life insurance or an annuity. I could zero in on them right away and help them get what they need and make a sale. Here's the same thing. We're offering a health assessment so that they can understand, here's some products that may be of value to you. And right there in the health assessment, a product package pops up for them to take advantage of a introductory offer at a special pricing, and it just looks really good. We saw that in its rudimentary form, not finished, but when it is finished, as the company's offering that and we're offering that, again, if we're offering it for free to the customer, there may be some cost in it to us.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't heard any of those details yet. But boy, I could go into, and any ITBO can go into print media in their local market, do mobile media, do social media, have the same offer, and it's a synergistic effect with what the company's doing that just reinforces everything that's going on and gets people interested.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to my crude drawing there, Mitch. I don't know if you can see it, but so what you're saying is that. So our role becomes developing strategies, whether we'll be buying co-op, which will be there eventually, but it really opens up the door for all of these other things. And I'm sure you're already researching, thinking through different strategies, and then how to measure the results of all of that so that you know what the best way to do it, right? Maybe just share briefly some of your thoughts on what you would do with all of this.
Well, so the first thing is we have to have some approved ads from TriVita. Now, they're going to go to our individual websites, or they're going to go to a telephone call that we're going to take. But for me, I want to do some print media that fits the demographics we're looking for. I want to do some mobile media where I would be able to buy a targeted list that would zero in on very specific demographics of people that I would think would be interested in the offer and be interested in using the products that we have and might be good sources of referrals or even ITBOs. And certainly in the digital media world, it's a lot less expensive than anything else. So if you can get that to work, and I'll be working on that as long as I can get something that hits and scale it. We can make it automated to hand it to any affiliates who want to participate and really build that quick, not only locally but regionally, nationally, and across the border.
So I know we don't know this on detail yet, but on the 13th, Michael will be announcing some incentives to really focuses on, this becomes our job, isn't it, Mitch? Our job is to acquire customers and other ITBOs who will do that again. But for us to be active, for us to be paid maximally and be rewarded for our efforts, this is the activity we have to do. And so part of this call is to say, you know, we believe we have the foundation and the system, in essence, to do this, and this really opens up a whole new doors for us to really get to work. Is that kind of the message that goes along with all of this?
Well, yeah, you know, there's a couple of things. You know, when Michael's very excited, let me tell you, I'm very excited to get back to work. I feel like I've taken a 2-year vacation. Now, I do calls with my group. I get a lot of calls. I've certainly gotten some new customers and sold some product, but the intensity has been extremely low. Okay, I mean, you ask my kids what I do, and they used to be able to tell you. Now they're not so sure. They say, well, he takes naps, he plays with the turtles, you know. He spent a lot of time in networking groups, and so I really haven't worked for 2 years. I'm really excited to go back to work. But what I saw from Michael was some excitement that I haven't seen from him in a long time, and I'm local, so I get to bump into him and see him once in a while. But he is looking at a massive customer acquisition program on TV, radio, digital, and social media that TriVita will do. And this is going to be a true co-op ad program because we're going to be able to do the same activities.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what
That's significant.
Here's what I saw. This is the most important thing over the last 16 years, is when there was more TV and more radio, that catalog worked better. The customer acquisition worked better. The referral marketing from the customers worked better. As the TV show started to slow down or not be as strong, we're not seeing the internet marketing take place. We're not seeing the strength of the lifetime value of the customer. So even for the people that aren't participating, the lifetime value of those customers is going to go up because they're going to see this TV show, they're going to see this offer, they're going to see the shopping show, and let's call it the halo effect, the synergy where everything ties together and it makes our marketing effort stronger. And I'm really excited about that for my current customer list, but I'm ecstatic about it, about going back to work and my future customer list. And when I look at what Michael's saying for his webinar on Tuesday the 13th, I mean, I really like this. This is going to be a look at TriVita of the future. Mm-hmm. They're going to be unveiling new tools, enhanced compensation that are going to support our business building opportunity and activity for our future. So, you know, I look at it, I was talking to a couple people about this morning, and I just feel like, you know, you're in one of three areas. You're going to either be part of it and make it happen, you're going to stand back and watch it happen, or you're going to be sitting around wondering what happened and why you didn't get to take advantage of that opportunity. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Mike or Mitch, I wish you were more excited about this. Next time, work on that, will you?
I'll see what I can do for the next call you want to do, Garth.
That's good. Well, I would actually like to talk to Bryan and Mitch and Barry a little bit more, but we want to respect everyone's time. We normally do 30 minutes, probably go another 5 minutes here, and sort of come back and let these guys wrap it up. But I think I saw this quote the other day, and I thought it was perfect for what we're doing. It says, good business ideas must serve the real needs of others to be successful. The creation of wealth is not a mere selfish activity, but rather a unique opportunity to creatively serve others. So when we talk about empower marketing, that's the heart and soul of this. This assessment, this evaluation, the health portal is a true value-added service. It is empowering the marketplace and individuals like Joe's story, and that's the basis of what it is. And there's a system built around that, and systems help create wealth, and there's nothing wrong with that. I want to have my portion of that. I know everybody else in the call does as well, but it's based upon the unique opportunity to creatively serve others. So that's what is coming down the pipe. So I wanted to end this call. Actually, I'm going to end it two ways. I'm going to show you just a couple what now steps you can do, and then I'm going to risk it a bit, but I'm going to ask Bryan and Mitch and Barry all to say 1 minute or less, guys, what what you would do now, or what piece of advice you have for the audience. Okay, so you can think about that, and we'll end with 3 1-minute segments. Mitch talked about that, using your back office to data mine. We have constantly new products that are out there. I don't know if people are aware of the August catalog, for example, but there is some there's a new adapt to it, which is fantastic. It's a great tasting. It's even better tasting. It really helps relax you. So that's a great way to connect with customers about that. There's new free shipping information about how to get shipping for free. Your customers would be highly interested in that. There are some new products that are coming that we found out. There's a whole new line of products coming for gut health in the next couple months. So watch for those. There's a new MyFlora, it's a probiotic, and there's a new proenzyme one as well. And so the whole gut health thing will be stepping up. So watch that. Also, as Mitch talked about, and we've all talked about, the announcement just went out for Tuesday, September 13th at 5:10 Pacific, 8:10 Eastern. The live stream with Michael, so connect with the company. Make sure you click on all of that. And then lastly, again, as Mitch used the term halo effect. And so Michael will be talking in more detail about a new TriVita weekly wellness show. This is not an infomercial. This is actually a wellness show that is starting on the travel station, the travel channel, September 15th, every Thursday at 7:30 a.m. So that'd be a great thing to push your database and your customer base to that as well. And again, Michael will talk more about that on the live stream as well. So with that, I'm going to, we'll go in the same order, we'll go in reverse order. So Mitch, what 1-minute piece of advice do you want to leave with the crowd?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I'm in the Verizon commercial. Okay, take advantage of what we have. So the first thing I would do is what I ask all of my new affiliates to do. Get on the products, get serious about being on the products, get your new health story starting today. Hey, maybe you gained a little bit of weight, maybe got a little bit sluggish, but take advantage of the products and get your new story going right now. You've got a group list. Let's take advantage of maximizing the comp plan. Get a little bit sharper on what the comp plan is and how you could take advantage of some stuff that's in there. I do a regular call with my affiliates to make sure they're maximizing everything they can get out of TriVita today.
That's awesome. Awesome.
The other thing I would do is in preparation, last thing, in preparation for the future of TriVita, look in your local area for local print, media, and direct mail that you can take advantage of that fits our demographics so that you can take advantage of that right away when it's available.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mitch. Brian, are you around?
I'm still here. Well,
give us your 1 minute what to do.
1 minute. All right. The clock is ticking. Well, I would put an exclamation point, first of all, on everything that Mitch just had to say. I would also tell everybody that the most important thing you can do right now, too, make sure that you are on the live stream that Michael's going to do. Reach out to every single person that you've ever talked to about TriVita, both existing ITBOs, even ones that have never joined you, and expose to them what's coming. Because I believe when people see this new TriVita emerge, and they see this new empowerment marketing program with all of the things that we talked about tonight, you're going to not only re-engage some of the people you have, but I believe you're going to get some of the people that maybe took a look at TriVita, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago. For some of you that have been around as long as I have and some of the others on the call, start reaching out to those people. It's not too early. That live stream is just around the corner, and so things are going to start to move very, very quickly. Lastly, and I'll just touch on this, Garth, real quick, and that is we talked a little bit about the enhancement to compensation, and I just want to say one thing about that. You know, TriVita has gone out to outside consultants in the industry that have been around a long time and are looking at what TriVita is doing. And they're looking at ways to really, really help people maximize the plan, but be rewarded for the activity that we're going to be doing, which is gaining customers. It will be a powerful plan. It will be a way that I believe anybody can start to build a successful business with TriVita. So those are some of the key things that I would say, Garth. It's going to be great. Get on that live stream, everybody. Garth, thanks for having me on the call.
You bet. So Barry, you got the last 1 minute.
Yeah, I won't even take a minute. I was going to talk about the enhancements coming in the comp plan, but Bryan talked about that. The other product that we heard about that'll be coming probably early next year is a brain product. I told them that I would be on the test case for that if they wanted me to. What am I going to do? I am going to do what the Eagles do. If it works for the Eagles, those 7 points, why won't it work for us? So that's what I'm going to do. Great call, great enthusiasm. Everybody did a great job. Garth, back to you.
Thanks, everyone. This is our chance and your chance to be an ITBO leader. So stay tuned. We have probably everybody's upline, no matter what group you're on. We're on the call tonight, so reach out to them. As these gentlemen said, they gave great advice. So those would be. I can't really add anything more to that. So thank you very much. That ends our call. Have a great rest of your evening, and we will talk to you soon. Goodbye, everyone.